Welcome to another episode of OG55. Today I got Mr. Lucas Kim in the house. We are talking about One Piece. One Piece, the creator of One Piece is very, very close to surpassing J.K. Rowling. We're going to talk about what the ramifications mean in entertainment and theme parks. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. Lucas Kim in the house up next on OG55. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG55. Today we're talking about One Piece and big news. We've talked about One Piece before here on the channel with Universal Fan Fest, but we're going to dive into even more incredible news in regard to this franchise. Before we do, though, I want to introduce my good friend, Mr. Lucas Kim. How you doing, Lucas?
Hey, nice to meet you. It's been a while again. I'm glad to join on board. I'm very excited to talk about One Piece today because this series has been long popular in Japan and also like in the East Coast, and now it was very popular in West Coast, but it didn't get a lot of attention for those who are not familiar with anime. And then all of a sudden, ever since they released the live action version of the Netflix One Piece TV show, it the the viewership and then the popularity like quadrupled um, amongst a lot of new audiences. And some people are like, "What is this show?" And then they just end up like Googling it, and then all these people started watching the anime version of it, and then start reading the manga version of it, and then the what is it, the merchandise revenue has also tripled comparing to Dragon Ball series. It surpassed Dragon Ball actually, which is which is almost impossible to like kind of imagine, because a lot of people have grew up with Dragon Ball. A lot of people grew up with Naruto. So like because here's the thing about One Piece. It's a very long series. It's been an ongoing 25 years anime series, and then the writer's been writing for 25 years.
Wow.
So like it has over like 3,000 chapters that you have to read to understand the story. And some people are like, this is too long, like I can't never catch up. But at the same time, every single of these stories that One Piece gives is never boring. It's
Wow.
very dramatic. It's very every character has its own story, even if it's like a short term, and that brings a lot of emotions, attachments, and there's a lot of comedy relief in that particular show. And then it has also like tragedy, and a lot of you know it brings dreams, wishes. It fits like a perfect ideal of a series that Disney could have brought into the like a mainstream type of story.
Sounds like
Because
it.
it is technically Disney-ish type of story. Like these main crew of the anime, like the One Piece, from like the Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates,
Yeah.
they all have their dream that they want to make their wishes come true, and they become friends and become family together, and they go on a long journey to find one of the greatest treasure ever, One Piece, by going into the final like island that the treasure was left by a legendary pirate named Gold D. Roger.
Well,
Or
it does sound very Disney, Lucas. I mean, when you talk about, first of all, pirates, just pirates alone, that theme is very Disney, and you talk about that mixed with having your wishes come true. I mean, that's built for Disney, you know. But
yeah,
it seems like Universal is kind of embracing it. It seems like it's more Universal right now, kind of embracing this franchise, right?
yeah, because you know what it is. I feel like in many ways Disney barely like keeps the imported type of or licensed type of IP franchise. If you think about it, they used to tried to license Power Rangers and were try to work it out with Toei anime company before, and that didn't last very long. It lasted like for a short amount of years, I guess, and a couple of series, and then they later gave it back to Saban, and then the Saban took over with starting from what is it, Power Ranger Samurai, and going on forth. Now, as you know, Saban completely has tanked their company and agency. Now they are no longer having the ownership of Power Rangers, so they're giving back the Power Rangers to Disney, and Disney now wants to make their own version of Power Rangers, and the Kamen Rider, also known as Mask Rider franchise, but without Toei companies, like I guess like observation. I guess they don't want Toei to be involved fully into the series or something like that. But now Disney has the full rights of license again.
Wow, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. So Saban, I remember growing up with Saban, but that company's not doing so hot right now, huh?
No, Saban, you know what it is? A lot of Power Rangers used to be popular amongst our generation.
Right.
But if you think about it, like the newer generation, the newer kids are not so into Power Rangers anymore. And that is because too much adults kind of like don't really teach their kids to like enjoy this franchise, and then some of these kids are too drawn into like current CG animation instead, and also like other like kitty animations such as like Peppa Pig
Yeah.
or Bluey. It would be
Right.
one of those type of examples. um or what is it, the Miraculous with the ladybug and the cat, uh Cat Noir is another very popular series amongst the current generation right now too.
Okay.
But any live action right now, like, it's kind of like dead trend, I guess, how I would say it. If they were into superheroes right now, they would just rather go watch MCU, like Marvel
Yeah.
Cinematic Universe or DC Cinematic Universe. But
Right.
they wouldn't. They got they kind of got over with the TV show right now.
Okay. All right. Well, let's dip into some of this One Piece stuff. I want to. This is crazy. I want to really get into this, especially with the theme park stuff. But this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
yeah, this is courtesy of Anime Rave. It's at Annie Rave, and you shared this with me. One Piece creator Ikiro Oda becomes the eighth highest selling author in history, and is close to surpassing J.K. Rowling, the creator of Harry Potter. This, when you sent me this, Lucas, I was like, what? Oh, like, this is crazy, right? I mean, J.K. Rowling, despite her as a person, right, just
Right,
her creative work, right, is one of the most successful franchises of all time, Harry Potter.
right, right.
And this franchise, One Piece, is now this close to surpassing it. What are your thoughts on this, man? This is crazy, right?
So, Eiichiro Oda. That's how we would pronounce his name in this case. But he's probably like the one of the first in Japan history and in the world history to, as an anime writer, to surpass and become the top selling author in the world history. Like, the number one is, like, without a doubt, William Shakespeare in the rankings, obviously, and then J.K. Rowling is like in, like, I think seventh right there. Uh, Aside from the political, trend that she's going right now, the way she's behaving right now, we have to accept that she is definitely one of the best-selling author in the world and history, because of how she created the wizarding world and the Harry Potter, and then
Right.
the like how much revenue it sells just by making Gryffindor or Slytherin like brand towels or robes or wands. Everyone wants to be that type of stuff right there. Wizard or witches, even kids right now.
Yeah.
And oh, I was actually surprised myself too, because I actually thought Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, would be a better highest selling author, but apparently he's not. And same goes for the the Pokemon is apparently not in the best selling.
That's shocking to me. I mean, that's really shocking to me. You
I've
know.
always knew One Piece was the number one best selling manga in Japan and eastern side of the country because of like it was like about 15 years ago. Uh, Oda was mentioned among the Eastern like best-selling author, and then also how popular One Piece like manga is. It sold like billions of dollars worth of mangas, and many people collected over like 60 manga books, and then collected and then like shelved them and as a One Piece like collections right there. So I already knew that it was going to be popular, but like I said, I didn't realize that it was going to be like this popular. Like it was not in my mind. I always wish that One Piece theme park would be a real reality, become a reality outside of Japan. But
Yeah.
ever since the May fan fest, you told me that it was like the one of the biggest popular like the panel that they had in the Universal Hollywood.
Oh,
I kind
easily.
of yeah. So I was like, it's kind of funny that we kind of mentioned. I kind of mentioned it like before that was happening. I said that One Piece is gonna like completely like be the most popular thing in that thing,
You
and
called it.
I wanted to go. I really wanted to go because I'm a big fan of it, and I knew that it was gonna be really busy. But I didn't. I bought the ticket and then ended up canceling and refunding it and so forth. So I wasn't able to go, but it when you told me, I was so excited. I was like, this might actually bring some kind of message to Universal that
Oh
they
yeah.
would consider about bringing One Piece into, the parks in America.
Well, 100%. Because from what I understand, they are bringing it back for Fan Fest next year. And the rumor is, I believe, and Theme Park Wizard, if you're watching this, comment down below. You can confirm or deny it for me. I believe the rumor is that we're going to get a One Piece show in the Water World Theater. So that's perfect for One Piece. I think that's awesome. But aside from that, I mean, Universal's looking at their own numbers and they're going, okay, we had this fan fest, and like every other person was rocking like One Piece, either cosplay, T-shirts, or something. I mean, the straw hats were everywhere. I think more than just about any other franchise. I said that in the FanFest video we made. I mean, Back to the Future is a big franchise, but I saw more One Piece stuff than Back to the Future. I mean, it's crazy, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's wild. So Universal sees that, they see their numbers. They're looking at this stuff too, though. Like, the creator of this great franchise is now just this close away from Harry Potter, which is another big money maker for Universal. So Universal should get on this train. They should absolutely embrace One Piece. I would love to see. Look, obviously we're going to have One Piece in like these events, right? Kind of test the waters. That's a smart thing to do. But I would love to see One Piece come into the theme park space in a permanent way. And from what I understand, you heard a rumor on X about something like that, about it possibly coming to Universal.
Oh yeah, because our very friend Wallen Bolland, he kind of like posted a X post about how he heard an insider rumor that the Lost Continent area of Universal Park is going to be replaced with One Piece Park. Now, while I'm excited about it, I'm not even sure how big the Lost Continent is, but the way you look at it right now, like the lore of One Piece is actually really big. Like, and when I say it's big, if there's already like 1,200, almost like 1,100 50 episodes of anime right there, then you can, in 25 years of anime right there, then you can imagine how many islands and lores that they have to go by to expand the idea of One Piece. And what's greatest thing about One Piece is it's a perfect ideal place for a restaurant, because there's actually in the anime itself, there is a restaurant, like a ship, like a pirate, like a ship that only cooks for the guests who come on board, and they have the best chefs all the time to cook food for them. So every one of those people would die to like make a reservation and sail down there to that ship to make a eat food down there. And one of the main characters from One Piece is a chef from like the sous chef that ends up joining the crew to cook for Luffy and his crew of like the exotic dishes all the time.
I'm telling you, Lucas, this would be a huge hit. They actually have out here in LA. They opened a One Piece cafe not too long ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Do they have like a fried rice and stuff like that, or?
I believe so. I believe so.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, but I think that Universal should embrace that. Look, like Universal saw the reception this franchise got for their fan fest. Like you were saying, if they built this land over where Lost Continent is, you could definitely capitalize on that like you wouldn't believe. Like the restaurant. I mean, honestly, even just like the pirate stuff, man. This could be Universal's answer to like Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean. They can make a really, really cool boat ride experience, like a big e-ticket for this franchise. So what do you think, though? I mean, do you think this is a possibility? I mean, Wallen Baldwin was talking about it. I know he's a huge Universal guy. He follows it very closely.
Right.
I mean, you think that there's a real shot here for this thing?
Yeah, actually, for example, if the Universal Orlando actually gets it, it might actually like turn the Marvel Hero Island into a zombie town or something right there.
Yeah.
With this popularity, because like I said, I do have a feeling that Oda will become even bigger bestseller author, surpassing J.K. Rowling, only because the lore of Harry Potter and Wizarding World actually is really just only based on the the 8 movies of the Harry Potter's story right there, maybe the Broadway play of The Cursed Child,
Right.
and then the Fantastic Beasts, of like the 3 of those movies. And that's pretty much it. It doesn't really have a further expanded lore or any sequel or any type of like in between story or anything to expand the part of the Wizarding World. So I do believe that eventually, as time passes by, Wizarding World will slowly die away, kind of thing, right there, where people will get tired of experiencing such like wonders of what they used to have. Believe me, but I'm not saying that Wizarding World is not great.
Right.
Every time I go to what is it, the Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley in Universal Studio and the Islands of Adventure, it still mind blows me to this day that it's probably the best thing that the Universal Park can offer. Before the Epic Universe was created. And I heard that the Ministry of Magic right now in the Epic Universe is also mind blowing design, and then the whole Paris there right there is a very amazing design right there. I can't I could imagine like it's gonna be great, because I heard some of these people who designed this like are formerly the Imagineers who were kind of laid off from Walt Disney World during the pandemic era. So it's not hard to say that they're not gonna do their best to make the place look like a reality. So
Yeah.
but here's the biggest thing: how long are we gonna be able to accept the how are the new generation and new type of people kids are going to stick with Wizarding World without expanding the universe? That's my question.
Well,
Obviously,
that's a great question. Actually, go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry to interrupt.
yeah. Obviously, J.K. Rowling's too busy, spamming on X, really, like doing political speech, but she's not really working on anything. We are creating, obviously, the HBO TV show version, but it's just a retelling of the story from the book and the movies. But there's no actual like further type of story to expand the universe. Nothing more interesting about it. A lot of people have demanded, can we please have some kind of like a Voldemort's like a spin-off story about his journey as a wizard and how he became a dark wizard. And J.K. Rowling went dead silent on that. She didn't want to do it.
And this is the thing, like, and Disney was people. I know people are very divided on Star Wars, but one of the smartest things Disney did when they acquired Star Wars is they understood exactly what you're saying, Lucas. Where in order for these franchises to live on and survive, you have to expand it. You have to
Right,
grow beyond the original movies, and
right,
and honestly, you're right. The TV show is technically a new thing, but it's really not, though. It's the same retelling of the old story. So the Wizarding World needs to go beyond just what they have right now to survive. And honestly, I think as time goes on, it's going to have a rough time keeping relevant because it doesn't seem, at least while JK is around, if she sells the rights to a big company like, say, Comcast, Universal, or Disney or something, then maybe then we would see an expansion. But as long as she's around and she still controls it, I think it's going to be really, really closed in. And that's not good for the franchise.
no,
You
it's
know,
not.
Eh,
No.
and you have IPs like One Piece that you were saying has an incredible amount of lore. I mean,
Right.
it's vast, and so there's so much to dive into with that, and so much more to do with that. As a young person, you're looking at that, going, "Yeah, this is more interesting. There's a lot more material here that I can dive into compared to that of like a Harry Potter." So I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, so so the difference between Oda and the Rowling obviously is because Oda is really just too busy to look at like politics or anything like that. He's just like, you know, really just focused on the series, and every time when he's like focused on the series, he just doesn't have time to go outside to like discuss about like somebody says, "Hey, you hear about like what Trump did?" And then he's like, "I'm too busy drawing, and I'm not gonna like even discuss about this kind of thing right there."
Right.
And the only time that he takes off is usually like when he's sick, and that's pretty much it. And
Uh,
supposedly he's supposed to finish the series by the end of this year, but I have a feeling that we might see the series like to continue until the end of next year at least. He did
cool.
say that this is a very final story of the for final arc of the story in the manga right now. So we will probably see his final closure of the chapter. A lot of people are very excited about it. Um, you know, um, but every time when it comes down like the storytelling, the biggest disappointment is always how it ends the story,
No,
obviously.
that's true. A lot of expectation.
Yeah, so that's exactly the same type of feeling that I had with Avengers Endgame as well too. So it's like it's just like uh the way it ended for the Endgame was like the biggest disappointment for me. So so we'll see how this goes too.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I do want to also ask you, Lucas, like, because it seems like we said before, Universal is all in. I mean, it's not even just One Piece. There's other anime that they are embracing, also, like with Fan
Mhm.
Fest and all that. But what about Disney? Like, I feel like Disney is really missing the boat. No pun intended, missing the boat here. A One Piece joke. But I really do feel like they are really missing the mark. I mean, why isn't Disney embracing anime more? I mean, it's massive and only getting more popular. And I feel like Disney is sort of like maybe oblivious to it, or what's going on?
I'm not sure. I feel like they kind of like I guess they had a feeling that they kind of missed that bus when they released Big Hero 6. I'm not sure about how popular that movie was, but Big Hero 6 was supposed to be San Francisco. It was just like kind of like fusion between America and Japan kind of thing right there. And then obviously the main character Hero is basically Japanese American,
Right.
and his brother Tadashi is also Japanese American. They were trying to bring the idea of anime style, like a superhero anime, and then try to make it into like a big mainstream type of a thing after after the movie. They tried to make a TV show. I heard that it was like okay, but not like something to remember by. That somebody said that,
Yeah.
and I feel like when it comes down to Disney with the licensing IPs and everything, they kind of missed the opportunity, like the right opportunity of doing so. Especially with the way that it's going right now with the new directions and everything. And I think the idea of bringing back Power Rangers and Mask Rider is probably because they, after the reaction they had with Netflix's One Piece, but also Universal's way of bringing FanFest for One Piece as well. I think they had a pretty like a setback on like realizing that they kind of should have, I guess, licensed One Piece. I guess they had it on Hulu way longer than Universal like thought about it, and I don't know why they didn't even really think about that too. So
Yeah, they already
they
had a
have,
working
yeah, they
relationship.
have a lot of these animes like on Disney Plus and Hulu, but for some reason they don't really go further into the like the zone that's supposed that they can make big monies out on. That's the same goes for like K dramas too. They have a lot of K dramas exclusive for Disney Plus nowadays.
Yeah.
They don't really advertise as much.
I don't understand that. I mean, it's such a massive, what would you call it, industry right now. I mean, it's so popular, and it's not just with Asian audiences. I mean, Western audiences are embracing this stuff like crazy, and it's like for Disney to not see that is wild to me. Now, would you consider Kingdom Hearts? I mean, I know it's a game, but is it also anime? Would you consider that anime genre
It's kind
or?
of interesting that you're saying that because they actually Disney did talk about they want to do a Kingdom Hearts show with Disney Plus, but a lot of people are having mixed feelings about it because I think they wanted to do a little bit more like a live action type right there, and I actually don't like the idea of that either.
I don't either. They want to do live
Um,
action? Why? Why live action?
I think it's because they want to like I guess I don't know what it is like. They believe that the live action will like have a little bit more action and CG that they can bring into it more than the animation. But a lot of fans who are like Kingdom Hearts and anime fans don't actually love live action at all. They would rather see it as a CG or like the 2D like like clear 4K animation or something like that instead.
Right.
So the way I see it, I feel like Disney is like whoever is in charge of the company and that's suggesting all of these right here. They need to kind of like change the script or something. They can't they need to stop like taking the ideas to live action. It's clearly not working. It's sure like Lilo and Stitch worked, but what about the rest of the live action movies? It didn't really work, did it? Like it has nothing to do with politics. It's just that people just don't like live action. They just kind of like tired of the oversaturated live action movies. It's just not working. The same goes for Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's just like way too much oversaturated TV shows, oversaturated like movies, and then the quality of the CGs and quality of the writing just like start to decline because everyone's are all over the place. They're not focusing on the same pinpoint of the company or focal point of the company. So now the company is like too drawn into like trying to earn money as much as possible and then milking that money as much as possible, but
Right.
that's not what they should be focusing on. They should be focusing on like focusing on the main focal point of the what needs to be done. And the main what needs to be done is not the direction of live action.
No, no, you got to do Kingdom Hearts animation. That's a ridiculous idea, I think, to do live action. I don't know why they insist upon that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's wild, and that's a huge franchise. I mean, that's really that Kingdom Hearts has a massive following. A stage show would be fantastic. You can do a lot with that franchise. I think the only thing that we've really seen are Oogie Boogie. We have meet and greets for Oogie Boogie with Sora. And is Sora there? No, I think it might just be Mickey and Goofy, right? Is Sora there too?
I'm not sure. I know Japan has like Mickey, Goofy, and Donald wearing Kingdom Hearts costume.
Yeah, I think that's what
But
we have.
speaking about that, I think Disney teased an Instagram video
Yes.
of a 70th anniversary of Disneyland, and because they made it like a key version with a keyhole right there. So
Right.
they brought in a cast member to dress up like Sora, and then do the whole like the command thing right there. Um, and then that got a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans like excited about it. They kind of were like, "Oh, are we actually getting Kingdom Hearts theme park pretty soon?" or kind of thing right there.
Hey,
But
that would be
and
cool.
so some people were kind of asking if that's related to Disneyland Forward project, where they're gonna add like Kingdom Hearts zone and or meet and greet or something like that.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I wonder too if, like, the direction they would go with that. Would you think like maybe a land, an attraction, and what park would you want to put it in? Like for example, Disneyland Resort. Would you do Disneyland or would you go more DCA for that?
I think DCA would be more appropriate. I know that a lot of people have saying that DCA needs a little bit more than just Avengers Academy, I guess.
Yeah.
Like everyone that I've talked to so far, they said that the weakest park in the world is they believe that it's actually DCA more than the Hong Kong Disneyland or
Wow.
Disneyland Paris. They believe that like the DCA just doesn't have enough like appealing attractions that is outside of the web slinger. And I guess I kind of agree, but at the same time I never actually been there, so I can't really judge like if it's great or not. But some people say DCA is great, but at the same time a lot of people have said DCA like really just like lacks a lot. It needs more attractions.
Yeah.
And I remember I asked when you had like a video with Bricky during live, I actually asked him a question and like what does he think about adding Kingdom Hearts into the park? And like yeah, kind of disappointed because the first thing that he said was like, well, unfortunately, we America first kind of thing right there. I'm like, oh my god, this guy. But I do believe that having at least one type of Kingdom Hearts attraction will actually bring in a lot of lines right there. As I've told you, you didn't think that One Piece would have bring in a lot of fans
Nope.
out there, but
It did.
I assure you, Kingdom Hearts has a lot of very quiet, like fans that just never really spoke out about like what they want in the park. So if it ever comes out, all these people who've been hiding behind the screens are gonna show up and they're gonna line up or like pay enough money to go to the parks at least.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that it will succeed, and if they do add a attraction, I would think that it would be more of like a gummy ship, like the like build your own ship kind of thing, and fight the heartless and the like big like you know dangerous enemies are right there. Another one is probably like build your own keyblade or something like that.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. There's potential there. There's
Yeah,
absolute potential there. So we'll see, because that would be the first franchise I could see them kind of gravitating towards, especially if Universal does the One Piece thing, like in a as a land over there, and it's really really big. Maybe Disney will look to Kingdom Hearts and kind of go in that direction. So because Kingdom Hearts is like it's not fully their IP because Square Enix is part of that equation too, but a lot of it is their IP with the Disney characters. So that might be kind of attractive for Disney. Like they're licensing it out, but it's not like a total complete licensing out, So
funny thing that you say that because what is it? The creator of Super Smash Brothers for the video game,
yeah.
he actually brought out his best creation called Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, and the final DLC character, downloadable character that he added was actually Sora from Kingdom Hearts. And he said that he wanted to add Sora for a very, very long time, for many years, and he never had a chance to brought Sora into the series because he always asks Square Enix if he can add Sora into the game, and they would always say you have to talk to Disney about that.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then at the same time, when they contacted Disney, when he finally reached one of the representatives from Disney and one of the Game Expo, they said, "You don't need to ask us that. You could have just gone to Square Enix." So here's the thing about Kingdom Hearts: the Disney company and Square Enix have a broken phone towards each other, and
Yeah.
they don't know who's in charge of what. So I have a feeling that that is the reason why we're not getting the park attractions and then we're not getting proper game releases because nobody knows who's in charge of what. And
Yeah.
every time when it comes down to like bringing the license, like Disney type of story in there, you have to technically call both sides to like bring both representatives in on the same table to discuss something, and it's like at having the CEO of Square Enix and Bob Iger on the same table to agree on something. Not to
Yeah.
mention you got to put like Dana Walden and then Josh Namero as well too, just in case
Yeah. You never know.
yeah, you never know. So
Yeah.
so
That's
it's crazy. It's like they everyone knows that Square Enix is the one who creates and publishes these games. But at
right.
the same time, we all know that Disney has to be the one to allow their IP characters into those games. So when you ask Square Enix, hey, what's gonna happen with the Kingdom Hearts? Can you bring it into the park? Then they're gonna tell you, hey, you gotta go talk to Disney about that. And when you ask to Disney, they're like, you gotta go talk to Square Enix about that.
Everyone's passing the buck, no one wants
Yeah,
to. That's crazy. That's a shame though, because as fans we lose out when stuff like that happens, because I think it's a cool franchise. I really
yeah,
do.
yeah.
So but Lucas, I want to thank you for coming on talking shop with me today. It was a lot of fun talking One Piece, talking Kingdom Hearts, talking the parks. We're gonna get you on in a couple more days, a few more days, with Mr. Seymour Duck. We got a lot of great stuff coming next week as well with more Lucas Kim content. But Lucas, if you could just remind everybody where they can find you on social media so they can show some love and support you.
Of course, you can follow me on it's Lucas Kim on X and Blue Sky, or you can also add Lucas and Disney on YouTube channel. I'll start now. I'm kind of like settled in my new studio soon, so I'll be like starting to record back once more. And also next month, I'm not going to be like 100% like be attending too much at Destination D23, but I will be like visiting the premiere at Destination D23 on Saturday. And since I was just told that so it's actually Saturday and Sunday they're gonna do the big premieres and they're gonna like do the merchants on Friday, which is kind of bizarre to me because I
Yeah.
assume that most of the expos they usually do it on Friday and Saturday, but instead they decided to do everything on Saturday and Sunday. And usually people don't stay on Sunday; they leave. So like it's just kind of bizarre to me that they decided to do it this way. So like they don't want you to leave uh, the Walt Disney World. So
Yes.
I'm taking flight on Sunday morning, so I'm
Cool.
gonna miss the half of the Destiny D23. But if you happen to go there, just say hi to me. I won't bite. I'm much nicer person comparing to what I say stuff on X. So
Hey, dude, I love your passion. I love how you do it on X, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the thing, and Seymour is kind of the same way. There's a lot of grift out there. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that
yeah,
grift needs to be called out. So
you know what it is. I like it's just kind of like it's like a tingling kind of feeling,
yeah,
when some people just always like become negative all the time and then you just get tired of it and like you're like one of those people sitting on the DMV right there, but you hear somebody like complaining all the time and you're just like kind of like trying to pretend that like you don't want to hear it, but at that last moment you kind of like the ticking bomb goes up and you're like, that's it, I had enough of this kind of thing right there.
yeah. Like this is the last straw. I'm done. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. It gets frustrating. It really, really does.
Yeah,
But
and you know what it is that the social media these days it's not so kind these days. It's just like way too much negative algorithm going on.
oh yeah,
It's like it's a mental taking. It's just like I don't usually go on, so I go on social medias to like interact and enjoy and then like talk about certain things and then watch follow certain people that enjoys like positive messaging such as like Scott Gustin and Drew the Disney dude.
yes,
um yeah, they really try hard to make things positive message as much as possible. Obviously they completely empathize on like some of the losses, but you know, like, but when you read their comments always negative and like, you know, complaining about stuff like that, and it just gets tiring. So
Yeah.
you know, and then that just like eventually I kind of like snapped last year and then just started like bomb blasting everyone. And I just like that I just like interact with it. I'm like is like, do you guys really not have joy in your life at all or something? Is this park the only thing that's attachment to you that like this to negative? You know, there's a lot of fun things out there in this world that's just like not
100%.
really out. You know, it's just like you know, the rivers of America is not the only like the end of the world right there.
No, no. Life is too short to be miserable. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to
Yeah, yeah.
criticize things, but like if you, yeah, to be mad all the time and to hate everything and be constantly negative, it's like, dude, you're only on this planet for a finite amount of time. Go enjoy life. Happy people don't do that. Happy people don't get online and hate everything. If you're happy, you're not doing that.
Oh
So
yeah, 100%. Like, you know, like, I'm, you know, I if something pisses me out, I just like start building like Legos or something or something
yeah,
that will like make me calm. But like every time I'm like looking at this, I can understand why some people started to get like really negative and angry, because it's just like you just have to type something and it just like kind of fuels up, but it's very unhealthy. So you have to find yourself like a center of the like, you know, peace right there, inner peace. And if the park is not making you feel you know, happy, then might as well like try singing for something else.
well
And
said.
then, you know, some people are saying, I like, you can't tell me what to do, I'm gonna be keep negative about it. Like, and then
Okay.
I seen some people say that, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I don't understand it. But if you know what, if that happens, you do you, kind of thing right there.
No,
So
100%. You want to live a miserable life and dwell on something you can't control and be mad about it for your whole life, and have at it, boss, you know. But I'm not going to waste my time doing that kind of stuff. I think it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I think it's ridiculous. But Lucas, I appreciate you, brother. I really, really do. Thank you for coming on. And everybody at home, make sure you show him some love, follow, support him on social media. And another Lucas Kim video will be coming out very, very soon with Mr. Seymour Duck. Until next time, see you guys later. Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to OG55 and become a member today.